You're making pasta for dinner. The water's boiling, the sauce is simmering, and you grab that green canister from your fridge. The one with the cheese you've been using for years. You twist off the cap and shake a generous amount over your spaghetti. It looks like snow, smells cheesy, perfect. But here's something that might surprise you. That 100% grated Parmesan cheese you just sprinkled? It might contain wood pulp. In 2016, the FDA found up to 8.8% cellulose in some brands. Cellulose is wood pulp. You've been eating sawdust mixed with cheese. And the reason companies add it? It's cheaper than actual cheese. So how does real Parmesan become fake Parmesan? What's actually in that green canister? And why is something labeled 100% Parmesan allowed to contain wood? Let's explore the process. Real Parmesan has a proper name, Parmigiano Reggiano. It's a legal designation protected by European law. To be called Parmigiano Reggiano, the cheese must be made in a specific region of Italy. 5 provinces: Parma, Reggio Emilia, Modena, Bologna, and Mantua. The cows must eat specific grass and hay from that region. The process must follow rules that date back 900 years. Every wheel gets inspected. If it passes, it's branded with the official stamp. Dots spelling out Parmigiano Reggiano in a pattern around the wheel. But here's the thing. Once that cheese leaves Italy, companies can mix it with cheaper cheeses, add fillers, pre-grate it, and sell it as Parmesan. The legal protections don't fully apply here. So how is real Parmigiano Reggiano made? It starts with milk. Raw, unpasteurized milk from the previous evening's milking. That milk sits overnight. The cream rises and gets skimmed off. In the morning, fresh whole milk gets added to the partially skimmed milk. This mixture is poured into copper vats that hold about 1,100 liters. The milk is heated to 33 degrees Celsius. Then they add the starter culture, whey left over from the previous day's cheese making, fermented overnight. It's full of natural bacteria specific to that region. After the culture, rennet is added. The milk coagulates in about 10 to 12 minutes. Cheesemakers break up the curd using a spino, a giant whisk. They break the curd into pieces the size of rice grains. The smaller the curd, the harder the final cheese. The mixture is heated again to 55 degrees Celsius. The curds release whey and sink to the bottom, forming a mass. The cheesemaker scoops out this mass with a wooden paddle and cheesecloth. It weighs about 100 kilograms. That mass gets cut in half. 2 wheels from one vat. Each half goes into a round mold called a fasciola. The mold has the Parmigiano Reggiano stamp on the inside. As the cheese presses into the mold, the stamp imprints into the rind. The cheese sits in the mold for a few days. Then it goes into brine for 20 to 25 days, absorbing salt. After brining, the real aging begins. The wheels move to aging rooms, row after row of wooden shelves, temperature and humidity controlled. The wheels sit there for a minimum of 12 months. Most age for 24 months, some for 36 months or longer. The cheese loses moisture. The texture becomes granular. Those white crystals? They're amino acid clusters formed as proteins break down. Every wheel gets inspected at 12 months. An expert taps it with a hammer, listens to the sound. If it passes, it gets the official seal. That's real Parmigiano Reggiano. Milk, salt, rennet, thyme, 4 ingredients, 12 to 36 months, 1 region. Now here's the kicker. Fake Parmesan? Made anywhere, from any milk, with no aging requirement, and loaded with fillers. The most common filler is cellulose, wood pulp, It's used as an anti-caking agent to keep pre-grated cheese from clumping. The FDA allows up to 2% cellulose in shredded cheese. But in 2016, Bloomberg tested major brands. They found Castle Cheese was selling 100% Parmesan that contained no Parmesan at all. Zero. It was cheaper cheeses like Swiss and mozzarella, plus cellulose. Some brands had up to 8.8% cellulose, way over the legal limit. But wait, even brands within the legal limit are still using fillers. Potassium sorbate, cellulose. The ingredient list on fake Parmesan can have 10 or more items. Real Parmigiano Reggiano, 3 ingredients: milk, salt, rennet. The texture is different too. Real Parmigiano Reggiano is hard and crumbly. When you grate it fresh, it falls in irregular flakes. Pre-grated fake Parmesan, perfectly uniform. Dry, doesn't clump. That's the cellulose working. And the taste? Real Parmigiano Reggiano has complexity. Nutty, savory, slightly sweet. There's depth from years of aging. Fake Parmesan tastes one-dimensional. Salty, sharp, flat. So, how do you make sure you're getting the real thing? First, buy the chunk with a rind that has dots spelling Parmigiano Reggiano. The stamp is imprinted during production. Second, check the ingredients. It should say milk, salt, rennet. If you see cellulose or potassium sorbate, it's not pure. Third, look at the price. If you're paying $4 for a huge container, it's not real. A pound of authentic Parmigiano Reggiano runs $15 to $20. Fourth, grate it yourself. Fresh grated real Parmesan tastes completely different. And here's what gets me. Parmesan fraud has been happening for decades, but because it's pre-grated and sealed in a package, most people never question it. So, let's go back to that pasta dinner. You're holding that green canister, but now you know it might contain wood pulp and fillers. You know real Parmigiano Reggiano is made from 3 ingredients in 5 Italian provinces and aged for 12 to 36 months. You know the FDA found up to 8.8% cellulose in major brands. You know the stamp on the rind is the only guarantee. The next time you buy Parmesan, you'll skip the green canister. You'll look for the wedge with the dots. You'll taste the difference between 2 years of aging and sawdust mixed with cheap cheese. That's the process. We reveal how things actually work, one story at a time. If there's something you'd like us to explore next, let us know. Until then, trust the process.